This $1 million deck is now gonna cost $1,001,001. We thought we were done with digging. You really want to go home single tonight? My name is Letitia. I just bought my first home with my boyfriend in the middle of a panini. We moved in end of 2020 and we have been DIYing our own home renos throughout. So if you're new to the series, you can watch from beginning, like from house hunting to buying the house to all of our room makeovers that we're doing one by one in our 70s fixer-upper until now. If you follow me on Instagram, which is a good place to get all of the tidbits, we have been working on our backyard since March. I will give you a cost breakdown of everything, how we came up to the design, and all the ups and downs of planning this backyard. From the moment that we moved in, Steph was saying that he wanted to build a deck. Building a deck was a big priority for us. The moment that the weather got a little warmer, we started right away on the deck. Our current backyard is very unlivable. Being an older home, we have a huge lot size and our lot is pie-shaped, so we have a really big backyard, which is something that we didn't expect, and it was just a bonus, but that gives us a lot of room to work with. When you first walk out into the backyard, there is a tiny little concrete step. It's painted like a chalky, peachy orange, and then you step down into an also tiny little paved area. To the right of that, we have this big central area. Now, a huge feature that sold us on the house is that we have a drive-through garage, which is super cool, something that we didn't know existed, and even our agent was a bit surprised about it. This gives Steph the ability to bring all of his cars to the back, to work on the car during a nice day. The layout of things is a little strange because when you follow to the further end of the backyard, there is a random, very small wooden deck that's falling apart, that's rotting. In terms of flow of design, it doesn't really make sense because you'd be walking out from your kitchen and going all the way to the other end of the backyard just to use that deck area. Since that little deck is rotting anyways, we're gonna take that out in the future. And then around the back, around the other side of the backyard, there's like, it makes me think of Animal Crossing when we put down custom paths and it's like slapped together. It's like somebody sneezed a bunch of interlocking. Towards the back fence, we have a sloped garden bed, and that is such a lovely area because it creates a lot of privacy. Our neighborhood is super family friendly. I would 100% be that weird naked neighbor walking around in the back. It's great that we have a lot of privacy. We're gonna be doing just the first half of the backyard, and next year we'll be going into the grass area and the garden. So we're going to be building a 16 by 20 floating deck that comes out straight from the moment that you walk out, that runs along the garage wall up to our apple tree. And then where that circular interlocking area is, we're gonna take that all out and extend it and rip up further interlocking that's on the other side to then repave it with square pavers into a big L-shaped pave area. The entire objective of this backyard is to keep it as simple as possible. It's our first time doing anything. We want to make sure that this is all within our skill level. We are officially breaking ground! I'm gonna rip up the interlocking on my own. I'm sure it's not gonna be that hard. And then we also have some brambly bushes that I'm sure will have some deceptively deep roots. Let the landscaping begin. An engine hoist? Did you get it just for dropping your big engine in?
Pretty much all it's used for.
Unitasker? Oh my gosh, you have a barrette just like Tina. She has one single yellow barrette. Teeny Tina. Oh my god, there it is! Holy shit, it worked! I'm sorry, worms. Here's your engine. no comment. I started right away at the end of March by going straight into the interlocking and tearing that right up. It was such a misleading positive start to the project because I thought, well, this is actually super easy. But the moment that I started having to move the interlocking into a pile was when I was thinking, what did I get myself into? Now we have all the old underlayers of what the previous landscapers did to the backyard, and we had to move all of the gravel into a temporary pile. What, your girlfriend can't get you a belt?
Quick belt.
If you're only going to take a couple of days, it's not a problem. We laid down a tarp and then we put our gravel on top of it. But it's been a couple of months and I'm sure the grass is dead underneath there. So keep that in mind, having a designated area for where you're going to put your things. One thing that I am very much dreading and haven't even wanted to think of yet is moving all of the interlocking and the dirt and the gravel out. So if you were working with a contractor, they would rent like a junk removal that's on your driveway. You have to pay for however long you have it, and we don't know how long we would have taken. So we just moved everything into a temporary pile. But that means that creates 2 trips for us. And I am dreading the day that I have to move everything back out. It just gives me like flu-like symptoms just thinking about having to remove all that stuff. They look like nothing on top, but there's so much at the bottom. Eventually, we'll be renting machines out to tamp and level the ground a bit better. Also, again, because of our inexperience, we didn't know how long we would need to rent something for, so we decided to do everything by hand with just 2 shovels and a wheelbarrow and many, many hours of digging. It saved us a lot of money, I'll tell you that. This section is the hardest because there's a bunch of roots because we have a tree here. So it's hard to dig. I brought you a hair clip. Soon we can eat out on the deck instead of in the garage on a foldy chair. We're so old. This is why it's gonna take us a month to do this. Landscaping costs a lot of money. Now I totally understand why, because it is very difficult. The budget for all this, we were estimating $5,000. We saved a lot of money, like thousands and thousands of dollars just by doing all of the labor ourselves. But that being said, a professional landscaper can come in and do the exact same project that we're planning to do. They could probably finish it within a week. Everything cleaned up, including all of the stuff that we've left behind. Whereas with us, this took us about, well, we budgeted that it would take about a month and a half to finish, and we would finish by end of May. And it's now mid-July, and we're still not done. Did you know that decks can come in different designs? So we went for a picture frame style. Picture frame was just a slight additional touch of design. We've officially ordered lumber. It's been a couple of weeks, so the process was very stressful for Steph. He's the kind of guy that is super perfectionist. When it comes to doing work, he always wants to get it right and do it right from beginning to end. So he drew up a lot of different plans and went through a lot of iterations for the deck. How many plans would you say you've drawn up by now?
Like 4.
And I had to gently nudge him to get him to order in time, because we went to get pricing a couple of weeks ago and the prices just keep going up. But because we're not traveling and because of COVID, we want to be able to spend more time outside. So we're willing and able, which we're very lucky to be able to put this money into a deck so that we can spend time outside. And that's the reasoning behind us being willing to pay for extra lumber. You can confirm this with your local lumber supplier, but they cleared out a lot of questions that we had. For example, the width and the length of your board can affect the bounce, which is a big thing in old decks.
2x6. It's 2x6 on 10 feet. It is going to bounce.
Okay.
They're going to block and you're going to feel the bouncing.
Okay.
So to give you an idea,
Even if I put a shit ton of blocking in between?
But this is where I'll have Steph come in with some expertise. He's here!
First thing, choose which way you want your top boards to face, and then that'll dictate which way your joists are going. I drew it out all first, but then I found an online planner that will automatically generate your frame. Where our deck we wanted it located, we needed to make sure that it was the right height, trying to fit right up to the house, like butt right up with the house, is another thing that made the design a little more complicated to use the cantilevers set up.
So if we were any smaller, it would have been really obvious that you can see that it's not built right. And then if we were any bigger, then it wouldn't have fit next to the house.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to make sure a lot of the calculations were, well, you had to make sure. If I had to make sure all of these measurements were right. Emotionally, how did you feel about doing this?
It was fine.
Do you see what I deal with? It's probably the original. Loose?
Yeah, let the hammer do the work.
Oh, I see. Shouldn't I wear eye protection?
Yeah, maybe. You don't have calibrated safety squints like I do.
What? Oh, I did it! I'm 4! Breaking up that concrete block was the best free therapy that I've ever had, aside from therapy itself. Luckily, it wasn't too thick and it was padded with gravel underneath, so it was just a great smash. Hard labor.
My soft hands can't handle it anymore.
On the next episode, we'll go into ordering the lumber, the design and the foundation, and the finished deck, and then all the other hiccups that we ran into that stopped us from having a full half backyard makeover. On the next episode of our first home backyard edition. We thought we were done with digging. It's looking like we're not gonna be able to pave anything. You really want to go home single tonight? Shoo, so clean. This $1 million deck is now gonna cost $1,001,001.